Well, hello there, Broncos Country. I wish I was coming with better news, but it's that same old feeling creeping back in. Week 2 loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers with those dang terrible towels infiltrating Denver. Broncos dropped this game 13-6. Got a lot of feelings to buck in this episode of Buck Your Feelings post game. And this is actually my first Buck Your Feelings post-game regular season of the year, as I have been fighting the plague. So, looks like the Broncos have been fighting some plague as well, and we'll get into all those unfortunate things on this episode of Buck Your Feelings. So, let's get on into it.
Emotional damage.
You
And
damn
with that,
right.
We're in. Welcome to the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. I am your host, Jay Weaver, the driver on this crazy train of a season, as we're in week 2. Right to the left of me here, I got a Don Diaz, a 6'10" Mexican, a Reg.
He's also the 6'10" Mexican. Not just a 6'10" Mexican.
Two of
He
them.
is the
There's not two of them, right?
6'10" Mexican.
I
I don't think so.
And then below me, obviously, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Baki, my cousin, the Mile High Viking. Gentlemen, how are we on this Sunday evening? Another loss chalked up on the chalkboard. Yeah.
You know what? I
Oh,
couldn't
dude.
tell if I was watching current Broncos football or a YouTube video of 2 years ago. I mean, that was just terrible play on the offense. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. The offense going out there, 3 and outs, so much unpredictability. The defense going out there, trying their best. They only gave up 1 touchdown today, which kudos to them, and 2 field goals. And the Broncos offense was only able to muster 6 points. And I guess you could say special teams at that. It's another day at the office for the Broncos offense in terms of, I know they said a lot after the game last week and the post-game conference, but I honestly didn't see, aside from that Wildcat play that finally paid off, that interception was such a huge downer, and it was a killer because I saw what Bo Nix saw, and I probably would have made the same throw.
Okay. All right. I mean, Jay, ask me again how I'm feeling right now.
Johnny, how are you feeling right now?
Step back and sing it for a vomit!
All right. I mean, okay. I'm still, you know me. You all know me. Well, not everybody. I'm sure that there's plenty watching right now on MHRT Network, on Orange and Blue Network that this is maybe their first time watching. But you guys know that I am ever the optimist. I always have been. I always will be. You guys can love me for it, hate me for it. I don't give a shit. I am the optimist. I am the glass half full guy. I always have been. I always will be. I still have hope. I still have hope. I'm just at this point now where I'm like, while I can have that hope, I'm not sure that it's going that my hope is going to pay dividends anytime in the near future. Does that make sense? I still have hope for the season. I have hope that we started out really shitty last season. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we went on a 5-game win streak against teams that we shouldn't have been beating, but we were because they figured some shit out. Well, a lot changed. A lot changed this offseason. This is literally almost a completely different team than it was last season. And my hope now is that we can see something akin to last season, just so that we know that maybe they're doing something right with this new team that they've built. That we can move a little bit into the season. We might not have a winning record, guys. It's the truth. I doubt. I mean, right now, I think the odds of us making the playoffs are almost astronomical the way we're looking.
Mm-hmm.
However, comma space, I can still have hope that later in the season, that as the season progresses, as the team is, gelling and meshing and doing whatever they've got to do to get there, we will start to see this vision come to fruition. That maybe we can hope that as long as we can keep some continuity, that next season we can start out on a higher note. But right now, as far as the beginning of a season goes, dude, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And that's honestly my biggest thing. And this is what I've been saying for what seems like years. There's only one thing worse than losing a game, and it's being boring and losing a game. And our offense is to the point where we're just so boring. We're just so predictable. We're just so vanilla. There is nothing unique. There is nothing exciting. As the beginning of the football season chimed, it's one of my favorite things to watch Red Zone, to watch all teams in the NFL and see how they come out of the gates and see how their play calling is and what the difference is between new head coaches here, new offensive coordinators here, and what they do with the same old personnel that, other teams had last year. And it's just so apparent year after year that we are just such a stagnant franchise that doesn't have any sort of spark to them. Our defense has been respectable. I think everybody respects our defense and has been for quite some time, but it's our offense that has been a black eye for our franchise since Peyton Manning left this franchise.
And I said
it hurts.
Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I'm good. It hurts. That's all I'm going to say.
And like I told you guys after the post game last week, with every single loss that goes forward, the seat under Sean Payton gets a little warmer, if not hotter, because what's really upsetting for Broncos country is, and I'm going to repeat it again, I'm probably going to repeat it for every single loss going forward for this team, is that this offense is Sean Payton's offense. So there is no way, or there shouldn't be any way, where currently 2 weeks into the regular season, this offense looks even worse than what the offense was last year. Granted, last year, week 1, the Broncos lost to the Raiders by 1 point. Week 2, we had Washington, and that was almost a comeback victory game. And the Broncos were just 2 points away from coming back and winning that game. But it shouldn't have even gotten to that because they had more than 4 quarters to catch up. And unfortunately, they waited till the very last minute, and it didn't happen. Totally understandable. However, those games were very, very much within the Broncos' reach, and we were starting to see a turnaround by Sean Payton. So
absolutely.
And the thing that really hurts for us is when, like I said at the beginning of the show, guys, we saw the Broncos literally go out there, go 3 and outs. There was one play where I was really ashamed in Javonte Williams, because I've seen Williams truck people, and that defender that got in there in that blitz, he should have trucked him, dude. And so it just kind of like, I mean, I don't even know where to, I know we can swear somewhat on this show, but I try not to.
Oh, we can swear. Listen, here's the thing. You know what? I'm over this. Swearing, we need to swear. This is Buck Your Feelings post-game show, okay? The name of this show exists for two facets, okay? We came up with the name, one, because it was a great innuendo, okay? It's, innuendo for fuck your feelings. Don't care what you think about my team. But also, at the same time, we're Broncos fans. And sometimes we need to get some feelings off our back. We got to buck them. So buck your feelings and do it however you got to do it. Get in here, scream, shout, beat, proverbially pound the wall, curse. I don't give a shit. That's what we do here. We're bucking our feelings today. Guys, real quick, Jay, just want to get the laundry out of the way for you. Just trying to keep up and keep your closet full. Guys, if this is your first time watching, or if you are watching this on the MHRT network, who we are now partnered with, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network. Give us the like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. You can also find the audio version of every one of our podcasts on your favorite podcasting platform. But conversely, if you're watching this on Orange and Blue Network right now, please, guys, jump on over to MHRT Network. Give us the like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. We're even on Instagram. So please, go ahead and do that for us. All right? This show today, I've already got it up for us, Jay, is brought to you by Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. You can find the link in the comment beneath. Boom. There it is. Dubby. Guys, Dubby is an amazing, amazing drink. Jay and I can't speak for Don, but I can tell you that Jay and I swear by this stuff. It comes in a multitude of delicious flavors, and every cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, but, and I love to emphasize the but on this, there is no calories, there is no sugar, there is no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It is nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including their own patented neurofactor that keeps you sharp throughout your day. And because there's no sugar, you don't get the jitters or the crash later. So guys, if you have not already done so, click the link below, jump on over to dubby.gg. All right, get yourself the dub by punching in code NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10, and that gets you 10% off your order at the checkout. Guys, there's no better way to get yourself the dub. We got an L today. Get yourself the dub.
With that, I just I want to bring in some commenters here. We got Tyler and Charlotte, our boy Ty Y, the fantasy guy, in here. He's starting to blame Sean Payton. And I know that's a sentiment that we're going to get into because I think there's some meat to that bone. There's some validity to that. I don't blame him, but there is some blame to go around for him, I think.
Oh, there's blame to go around in a lot of places right now.
It falls at his feet, as I said earlier.
He's the CEO. He's the head, obviously. But from a play calling standpoint, what can he do? This team is deprived of talent.
What can he do? What can he do, Jay?
Hey. At the end of the day, he's working with a rookie quarterback that obviously is having some hard time with progression right now, i.e. red zone interception, i.e. some of the throws he made week 1. There are some things that we need to be honest about Bo Nix in thus far, even though, again, I don't think it's all Bo Nix's fault either. I just think he has absolutely no one around him.
Okay. Here's why I scream, what can he do? What can he do? What can he do? All right. He has been touted as one of the greatest offensive minds of not only a generation, but of all time. He was out of the league for 1 year. 1 damn year. You can't how the hell do you get washed in 1 year? He is playing. I don't know what he's doing with his playbook, but this is not a Sean Payton playbook. This is not, he's not making the calls. And that's on him. That's on him. He is calling a ridiculously, you said it, a ridiculously vanilla offense. And that is not what Sean Payton does. Even with young and experienced teams, this is a guy who had success with journeymen like Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, who all were crap otherwise, but because of his system, they were successful. Why can't we find that success? Why? There's no reason. He's not doing what we gave away first round draft picks to get his contract to do.
Yeah. I mean, Don, I don't know. What do you think about what is around? I look back at those New Orleans teams and they had some established talent, and I just don't think we have established talent. I think it is a unfortunate fact that we need to make peace with. Ty said it on the pregame that Cortland Sutton would be a number 2 or 3 on most NFL teams. And even at that, he's a no-show and thus far in the year. And that's supposed to be our biggest weapon offensively. So I don't know.
First of all, let me say hello to Broncos Breakdown Bill. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Bill, who also, by the way, was just hosting The Neighborhood right before, during the game, right before this show, which was
he did a great job,
awesome. By the way, if
Fantastic
you guys
job.
do not know, we host the pregame show, then MHRT Network, who we are partnered with, hosts The Neighborhood, which is a during the game podcast. It's a lot of fun. It's not just a play-by-play. It's a lot of ranting and raving and banter and lots of just fun discussions. It's a good time. And then, of course, right after the game, you can join us here. So please make sure, again, like, subscribe, share, and comment over at Orange and Blue Network, YouTube, X, Facebook. Do the same over at MHRT Network, please. Guys, give us that help. But it's great to see Bill in the chat. We haven't seen Bill in the chat in a while. I love it.
But he makes a good point, though. I get the common factor, Sean Payton. But to me, this team doesn't look that similar to last year, because I do think there is difference in play call last year. Last year, I feel like we kind of were a little more booty, a little more side to side. We went to the strengths of Russell Wilson, and those are not the same strengths as Bo. I just kind of feel like what we're giving right now to Bo is more vanilla than even what we gave to Russ. And I mean, I get it, but play calling wise, I don't see the exact thing year over year. I don't know. I want to say that there's more talent on this team than last year's, but I mean, what's really the difference personnel wise? I really can't think of any monumental change other than Jerry Jeudy.
Well, going back to what you were asking me, Jay, about Sean Payton. When Sean Payton took over the Saints, that first the season before them, they were one of the worst teams in the league. Now, to his credit, he was able to discover a hidden talent in Drew Brees. Drew Brees, the year before Sean Payton came to New Orleans, he was the backup for the Chargers. What's his name?
Marty Schottenheimer?
No, I can't think of his name now. He traded places with Eli Manning in the draft.
Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers, thank you. I was having a mind fart.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was lost there too, Don, what you were trying to say.
So, and the Chargers gave him up for basically nothing because they thought that, okay, you want our backup quarterback, you can have him. So Sean Payton literally hit a home run in terms of finding what Drew Brees was and turning him into the great quarterback that we know him to be. And he was able to get a championship out of him. So now with Sean Payton coming to Denver, instead of, trying to do it again with, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to do the same thing with Jarrett Stidham in those last 2 games last year. And as we saw, he just totally flamed out. And now he's trying to go the opposite way and try to bring the best out of Bo Nix. And remember, we're going to have to eat a lot of crow because after the draft, everybody said that that Sean Payton, stole the draft because he convinced the Vikings to go for J.J. McCarthy instead of Bo Nix.
I don't know how much convincing there was there, but Not
What
the
do
point.
we know, though? What do we know what J.J. McCarthy is?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. We didn't know what
Yeah,
any of the
that's true.
quarterbacks were.
And you
up
know what?
until
We
that
still
point.
fucking don't. That's
Yeah,
the
you're
this
right.
is
truth.
very true.
You know, like okay, during the neighborhood, I was on the entire game. I was in the chat on the neighborhood the entire game. And the amount of blaming Bo for our woes right now is disgusting. He is a second game rookie quarterback. Okay?
Mhm.
Quit comparing him to CJ Stroud. You cannot compare anybody to CJ Stroud. That is an outlier season. There has never been a rookie quarterback that had a CJ Stroud season before CJ Stroud did it. And you cannot sit here and say that every rookie quarterback should look like that when they come in. It doesn't happen. CJ Stroud is an outlier, okay? The dude is on his own level as far as being a rookie quarterback coming into the NFL goes. That being said, Bo is a second game rookie. It is not, he's got a lot to learn. People are like, why did he make that? And I'm like, it's a rookie mistake made by a rookie.
But
It's acceptable when a rookie makes a rookie mistake.
It is, but it's not acceptable for our fan base. Our boy Rob Myrick in here, Bronco Rob, he's tired of losing. And that's the thing is our fan base we have no patience. We haven't had patience for quite some time. We didn't have patience the year after Peyton Manning, let alone 8 years now after. So Bo Nix doesn't get the traditional rookie grace that I think a lot of other franchises would give a rookie quarterback. We're not in that place as a fan base right now. And it's an unfortunate thing. It's not fair to Bo, but that's just where our expectations are. I think that's why everyone's so hard on him.
Yeah.
Real quick, there was one up here I want to bring up. I got to find it again. All right. One by our friend Bill over at Broncos Breakdown. He says, Johnny, I have a feeling I will be breaking out that whiskey sooner rather than later to drown the pain of the season. I can't. This is Victory Whiskey. This bottle is unopened. All right. This one actually will not open. I don't care how long it takes until the Broncos return to a Super Bowl. This particular bottle. Over there, you can't see it right now, but over there sits a decanter full of literally the same whiskey, the Breckenridge Distillery's back-to-back blend, but it's in a decanter. That is game whiskey. That is Victory Whiskey. I only drink a glass of it when the Broncos win. Well, otherwise, it goes untouched.
According to Mundungus, you might have 2 drinks out of that, or 2 games, because he says we're going 2-15.
And my whiskey will be well aged by the time I finish that decanter, because that is Victory Whiskey. If the Broncos can't get it done, I don't get to drink my whiskey. Okay, I will sit here. I'm drinking. You better believe I'm drinking. I am drinking the water of Adon's people.
Yes. Greatest beer ever made.
Corona, cervezas, delicious. Modelo's great too. Yeah, that's Jay's poison. But
you're definitely the figurehead of hope here, and I guess you get it from your mom because your mom says that there is hope as well. Hi, Aunt Karen.
Hi,
Mrs. I'm sure out there. Yeah, it has only been 2 games.
And she's right. We have had starts like this before. We have had starts like this before. We had them with guys like John Elway.
It's true.
I mean, it happens. Okay, it sucks. I get it. Oh my God, I get it. I'm angry right now. I'm feeling the same friggin' feelings as you are, Broncos country. I promise you, I'm feeling them just like you are. The difference is, I'm not gonna let myself believe that this is all it's ever gonna be. I'm not gonna that this is all I'm going to see even in the near future. I'm going to sit here and believe that one of these days, something's going to just click. It happens. Things just suddenly click. They come together when you least expect it sometimes. And I believe it's going to happen. I really do. I am the optimist, but that's what I do.
There's something to be said. Blitzby Reppin says it here that Sean Payton's offense doesn't work. We've heard it. It's antiquated. It's old. It is, and that is one true thing I will say. Like Adon, you're saying Well, when he went to New Orleans was crap, and look what he did to resurrect that franchise. Well, turns out it's not 2007 or 6 or whenever that was. The NFL's far different. You know, when you're watching a Kyle Shanahan or a Mike McDaniels, run offense, we're just in a different age of the NFL, and the ground and pound, slow moving offense that Sean Payton employs it's just not
outdated.
where everyone else is.
It's outdated now.
Very much so.
Is.
It's very much looking
now,
like that, yeah.
Here's what I'm here. I'm going to ask you a question. Can I ask you guys a question on this one on this subject?
Shoot.
So we've just stated that Sean Payton and his system that you just said, Jay, are outdated. They are, it's no longer effective, obviously. We already stated earlier in the show, Sean Payton is touted as one of the greatest offensive minds of all time. So to me, with him being that way, him being that guy that has that mind, I get he's old, and they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, blah, bloody fucking blah. I get that. Do you think he can adapt and evolve because he does have that intelligence?
Dude, Sean Payton is one of the most arrogant son of a bitches I think I've ever seen in the NFL. So there is no chance that Sean Payton is just going to wake up one day and say, you know what? Everything I've believed my whole life is wrong. Let's turn the page and change. Like, that's not going to happen. We're going to ride and die by this ship. And it is if he changes with maybe some future personnel, because we have seen maybe a little more dynamic play calling when he has someone like Alvin Kamara, when he has someone like Michael Thomas, but we don't have anyone anywhere close to the ill of those players right now. So I guess the jury's still out, but he's not going to change his philosophy. He's not going to change the way he calls plays. I don't know. What do you think, Adon?
I think that he's probably, if he had a time machine and he could go back in time, he'd probably tell himself sitting across Colin Cowherd to maybe he should have stayed there. Because when he was sitting on that couch and he was judging, who was the coach at the time? What's his name? Hackett. Like he was just,
Hackett.
Yeah, he was just being so judgmental and kind of basically saying like, well, I could do better than this. And, and I get it. Everybody is a coach, is a couch coach, or however they say it. We see things differently when we're sitting from our couches or chairs or whatever from where the coach can see it. But at the same time, we're not being paid millions of dollars by a franchise to go out there and right the ship. Now, I am willing to agree that, and to kind of counterpoint a question that Broncos Breakdown asked about if the Broncos lose to the Bucs next week, should they pull Bo Nix?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, because pulling Bo Nix would be the worst choice you could make, because you're already 2-3 weeks in. Let's say there's no point for you. He is not going to learn if you have him benched on the sidelines.
Okay.
If he's not designated.
Do you know what that will do? Do you know what it would do if they did that to Bo? You would see exactly what happened to guys like Zach Wilson. Okay. Listen, he's got to be given time to build his confidence. I get that, that Bill at Broncos Breakdown is saying in the chat, he's saying Bo can't get the rookie grace because he was touted as being the most NFL ready in the draft. Okay. You know what? That was the hope. The hope was that he, again, it all comes down to what we wanted. We wanted him to be the most NFL ready because he had the most experience. Doesn't mean he's going to. Okay, he is human, and he learns at his own pace. Everybody learns at their own pace. He's learning at his pace. He will get there. But if you take him out of the game now and hamstring his confidence, because that's what will happen, he may never come back. Zach Wilson, if they had left him in early in his career and let him develop as the starting quarterback, gain some confidence and build on it, he might be a different quarterback today and not the number 3 on the Broncos depth chart. And yet, do you see what I'm saying? But they pulled him early. They benched him. They put somebody else in. They hamstrung his confidence. And now here he is as a number 1 first overall pick, sitting as the Broncos number 3 because he never got to build any confidence in himself.
Well, there's also a common denominator in those two situations of that they went to a garbage team. They went to a garbage situation. And yeah, Bo Nix might have been the most pro-ready quarterback and ready to go as far as, mentally and physically, but no, his supporting cast sure isn't. That's my contention. Like Bo Nix, if he went to a perfect situation in we're just a quarterback away kind of team, then I think we would see the true superpowers of Bo Nix.
But we knew. That's the thing. That's the other thing the Broncos country seems to forget right now. I get it. We got romanticized by the preseason, by the offseason. We always do, by the way. We always do. That we were going to come out of the gates swinging and we were going to be on fire. But guess what? We're not. We knew at the end of last season that this would be a rebuilding year. Bo is the piece you're going to build around.
Yeah.
We're not benching him. We're not benching him for Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, and you guys have heard me say it, not to cut you off, Jay, and you guys have heard me say it a bunch of times on Broncos Talk over the past year since Bo Nix was drafted. If the Broncos are going to play terrible and be bad, I would much rather it be under Bo Nix, so that if you want to use this season as the season to get rid of, the interceptions, go back and try to work and just fix all the shit that's broken this year for next year. If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. And yes, it sucks that it hurts seeing the team lose. It sucks. It hurts. I get it. I'm with you in all that Broncos country. But
I don't like watching the losses.
Yeah, me neither. But I think this would personally hurt a lot more if that was Jarrett Stidham out there, not being able to put up points. Or to Johnny's point, that it was Zach Wilson, who is just like, it's not going to work. So at least with Bo, we can say, he's still a rookie. He's still figuring it out. But at the same time, on the other hand, there's only so many times we can say that where it's like, all right, man, you've been in this league long enough. As we progress further down the season, there are these certain things that you just can't keep doing. That, again, that end zone interception, I know I see what he was trying to go to. Unfortunately, it sucks. He's not the first rookie to make that mistake, and he's definitely not going to be the last rookie in this league.
I said it literally to a friend who's in the chat right now. I won't say his name. I might. Michael Yost, who's not only a good friend of the show in the chat, he is a good friend in real life. Okay. He and I served in the Army together, just like Isaiah. We all three served together. I was their medic. They were my infantrymen. And during the 2015 Super Bowl run, the three of us were the Mile High Club, is what we called it, because we were the only guys we could find on Fort Campbell, Kentucky, in the 101st Airborne that were Broncos fans together. And well, actually, to be honest, Michael Yost became a Broncos fan watching the games with me and Isaiah that season. And he's been diehard ever since. It's good to see you, Michael. He texted me during the game right after Bo threw that interception in the end zone. And he asked, what the hell was he thinking? And I said, it was a rookie mistake made by a rookie. That's why they call it a rookie mistake. Now, if Bo was in his third year and he made that throw, and I was like, that's a rookie mistake, that's not acceptable because he's not a rookie. But right now, he's a rookie. Second game. It happens. That's where rookie mistake comes from. The phrase.
Yeah.
We got our boy Richie, our standing Canadian here.
And the host and the Broncos host of the Wild Wild West on MHRT Network.
Which is a fantastic show. I have been dabbling recently in that almost every week. I really like that show a lot. Some great characters, great perspectives all around the division. But he has said, and he's one of the very few, honestly, that I've seen in Broncos country, stating that he didn't want Nix to start. He didn't want Nix to see this light. And I would still disagree with him, only because we're not set up for success right now. But I would rather have these bumps and bruises now when we already know we're not set up for success than when we're ready to go. Him having the learning curve at that point in the curvature of his career.
Let him mold the clay now while it's still young, soft and new and malleable.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes. Yeah, go ahead.
You said we are in a rebuilding year. Isn't it refreshing, Noel, to have the feeling we're having when looking at the team and saying we're in a rebuilding year compared to years past where John Elway would just throw Band-Aid upon Band-Aid upon Band-Aid and never admit that there's a problem. So we were running out Case Keenum and Joe Flacco to get the same damn result that we're going to get this year.
Hey.
At least we have hope to know that we are going in a
There is a future.
direction.
There
Yes.
is a
There's
future.
a build coming.
That's the thing.
Like, there's
Trying to put a Band-Aid as a combat medic, as a U.S. Army combat medic, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound does not work. It doesn't. Sticking a tampon in it does, though. Ha! Anyway, no, for real. By the way, I used to carry tampons in my aid bag if my guys got tagged by a bullet, because, hey, that's what the tampon was actually designed for. The original inventor of the tampon designed it to be a battlefield dressing, and then somebody else, got their hands on it and was like, hey, I know another bleeding hole this can go in anyway. But the point is, a Band-Aid on a bullet wound does not fix the problem. It does not stop anything. And you're right, Jay. It was Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid. We kept ripping off the Band-Aid because it was getting saturated with blood and it wasn't working. Guess what? Now call this year surgery. You're suturing the wound shut. You're closing it. It's not healed. The wound is not healed yet, guys. But now the right treatment is being given so that it can begin to heal and close and stop bleeding.
Yeah. And this is a foundational thing that your buddy Michael Yost brings up, is that for Bo to develop, we need an offensive line to protect him so that he has
And they're not.
And they're not. And that's really, honestly, the biggest crushing thing about the situation, is because that's the positional group that we've sunk the most money and resources into. That's the vet group. Like, that's supposed to be the anchor of that side of the ball. And they're not performing that well. Granted, McGlinchey got hurt. So there's that side was troubling this side.
Hey,
and
even before he got hurt,
playing, TJ Watt was running amok.
Well, it's not even that. I said it during the pregame show because I hadn't seen it last week. In fact, I gave Mike McGlinchey props last week on the postgame show, only to go back and watch the games this week and realize that Mike McGlinchey gave up more pressure last week than any other guy on the offensive line. So even without TJ Watt being the guy, and even without TJ Watt being him, and even without him, Mike McGlinchey getting hurt, Mike McGlinchey was not being the guy. Okay, yeah. Like that was happening. Real quick, guys, I want to pull this up because it's a fun comment, not Broncos related, but really fun. On Twitch, Polar Knights popping in saying, "As a barber, I love this show. It is the perfect evolution of beard growth."
He can't be talking about me because my beard is all.
No, dude, look. Like Jay's got the really short, well kept, trimmed every other day kind of thing going on. Don, you've got that ugly, no offense, but that like in between beard that it's between being the nice short and kept, but before it becomes mine, glorious, long and flowing.
It is.
That's
great.
why I said mine is jacked up, man. That's why I said mine is jacked up. And
that's what he's saying. That's why he was saying it's the perfect evolution of beard growth. You see the evolution in our beards. 1, 2, 3. It's like
that shit had me wrong.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I mean, it's not Bo. Bo is not the problem, and we need to stop. And I wish they would stop. We need to stop acting like he is. It is because it's not. He's not the problem.
So we've spoke, I think, a broad discussion, I feel like, on this show. I want to talk about a couple, zero in on this game, specific situations, one of which is a subject we never, ever utter, and that's PS2 looked shaky today at best.
Oh, my God.
We don't ever speak about this. That's blasphemy. But George Pickens had his number today. And boy, that reception that didn't count because of the holding on 77 early in the game. Oh my God. Like, George Pickens is nuts. I was not aware of his work to the point that he performed today. So PS2 was very disappointing.
It gave me vibes of, the New England game last year, because that was the last time we saw PS2 have a shaky game like that. And granted, as much as we love Patrick Surtain II, there's going to be games like those. But at the same time, somebody said fire Vance Joseph. I think that's a little bit severe because even though the Broncos defense gave up yardage to Justin Fields, they only held the offense to 13 points. So in a lot of places over the league, if you look at the scores, a lot of teams put up more than 13 points, whether they won or lost their respective games. So it wasn't the defense's fault that they lost this game, guys. You guys have to realize that. And you have to remember that this was a defense that had to manage without Baron Browning. I don't think he came back from a foot injury, and we lost JFM to a concussion or very early on. So he was ruled out. So even without their two best players, the Broncos defense found a way to make it work. I know we're not doing the game balls yet, but I just want to give a big shout out to Zach Allen because that man was busting his fucking ass today. Just when I thought they were going to pull him out, you see him huffing and puffing, and he was in there every drive. I always feel sorry when I see that man like him and other players like him busting their ass for this team and having to walk out with an L. And that shit hurts to you as a fan because those guys are out there busting their ass, and when the other side isn't doing their fair share, it just fucking sucks to see.
It does. It does. And I was saying it. I said it in the pregame. I love Zach Allen. Like I was so excited, and he did a phenomenal job in this game. You are absolutely right on. Huge shout out there. Great. But we held I would not call the Steelers a great offense because right now Justin Fields is their quarterback and he is not a great quarterback. He's not. We held them to 13 points. Okay. Our offense is where our current anemia lies. Period. And and
I guess I'm just looking over box score. I didn't know how bad it really was. We ran for 64 yards. That is embarrassing.
Yeah,
in the type of offense that we run. That's flooring to me.
Justin Fields played some very safe. Just not to cut you off, Jay. Just want to say Justin Fields played some very safe football. The times he did air it out, he was lucky because there were a lot of plays that one where that ball was just an inch lower. That's an easy PJ Lock interception. That fumble where Justin Fields wasn't ready for the snap. If it wasn't for the running back on his right side, that would have been like there were so many plays where the defense could have turned the ball around, but at the same time, even if PJ Lock makes that interception or they get that fumble, that offense wasn't giving you the vibe. It's like, okay, the defense got a turnover. We're close to the red zone or we're in the red zone. We need to put up points. And the only time the Broncos offense got in the red zone, they threw that really nasty, that really ugly, I should say, interception. So when the boys go into the film room tomorrow, the offense, you guys have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, not to call him out, but Bronco Rob on there was saying fire VJ, and I couldn't disagree more. My God, any NFL team in this modern era should be able to only give up 13 points and win a game. It is not hard. My God, just average 14 points a game.
Hey, he did his. Listen, there were moments VJ was doing his job great, and there were moments today where he wasn't. I'm sorry, but there was several times they were playing off man coverage that caused absolutely just blown coverages and wide open shots to guys like to two guys like George Pickens. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. If you were playing tight man and you were playing off man at that time, PS2 would have been. Now, to your point earlier, PS2 really struggled today, and I feel like
he did.
A big part of that was frustration. I think it was frustration, but I mean, the guy, he's really got to shape up those penalties, man. Come on, that's not what you do.
Another random point. He got a holding call on a special teams, a punt return, I believe. Since when is PS2 playing special teams?
Yeah, that took me for a loop too. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Nuts.
I think it's a rotational thing. I think that was a rotational thing for his speed.
That's dumb. That's stupid. He's our best player on our roster. There's no reason he should be playing special teams. That's crazy.
No, you're right. I agree. I agree with you entirely. But at the same time, I think it was because they were wanting somebody that could get down the field as quickly as he can move.
Well, put him at wide receiver then, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
our offensive line, it was another bad day at the office for them. Really terrible day in terms of the run game. I mean, shit.
Javonte Williams needs to be a wanted sign somewhere out there for him, because I'm just he looks a shell of himself. Not that anyone else looks better. Tyler Beatty, I guess, looked pretty dang good for the spots that he got. But I'd love to see Blake Watson in this offense. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get the nod compared to Beatty. But I'd like to see Beatty, Watson, and McLaughlin go like that three-headed monster. That's it.
I wouldn't be opposed to the Hassan Reddick trade, because he doesn't want to play with the Jets. So if you bring a player of his caliber over, and
we can't afford him. We can't afford him right now.
I know we can't afford him, but if it's like a team-friendly deal or something,
there's no way. There's no way, because the whole reason he's not playing for the Jets is because they're not giving him a bigger contract than the Eagles were willing to give him.
That whole situation's going to change though right now, because I just saw one of the pass rushers for the Jets just tore his Achilles. Ooh. So there is a massive need now on that team for a pass rusher. So they're going to kneel and they'll pay the man. That will get, that ship.
I'm just saying though,
real quick.
Like even if we could, even if the car, we can't afford him. Listen, here's the thing. This is another reason that this is absolutely a rebuilding year. Russell Wilson, his contract that we are still fucking paying is too big. Okay? Like during the neighborhood, Bronco Bill brought up, restructuring some contracts. But the problem with that is there is no contracts you could restructure enough to even make a dent in what we're losing to Russell Wilson this season. There's so much money tied up in just paying that man to go away that we just have to wait it out. Now, granted, next season it'll be off our books, and we'll have all of our picks in the draft next season.
I was gonna say, I don't want to trade for a vet this year just to band-aid what little hope there is for this year. It would have to be a multi-year, like, that's our guy, and that automatically equals we're not paying Cooper or Baron Browning probably, and I would much rather pay one of them than Hassan Reddick, in my opinion. So I mean,
you know what the worst thing about Russell Wilson today? He got a win in Denver, not in a Denver uniform.
Yeah. Christopher or Earl Ashley, who was on the pregame with us, said first time watching a Denver game, I got nothing to say. I mean, that
don't blame you.
Speechless.
Don't blame you.
And then Christopher brings up another point that I wanted to make before we start getting into some other stuff. Greg Dulcich. He dropped so many passes this game. I mean, what the hell? These were, I said it in the pregame.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Our receivers, whether they be the wide receivers or the tight ends, our receivers are doing our rookie quarterback no favors at all. Dropped passes all over the field. I don't understand it. You are paid to do one damn thing, and that is catch a freaking ball, and it hits you in the hands or even in the chest, and you drop it. Put me on the field. Put my crippled ass that can barely walk it, that walks at the speed of smell because of, my ankle injury. Put me on the field, because I promise you, I can drop that ball as easily as you for that several $1 million contract. It's bullshit. It cannot be happening. It has to stop.
Yeah. But just to kind of push back on the Hassan Reddick trade, just so you guys know, currently the Jets have only $3 million in cap space. And I know that because they're my team. I was in Madden, and that's the amount of money I had to. So if the Jets can find a way to pay Hassan Reddick after what Jay said, that the unfortunate injury they sustained, and I'm not just saying this for Reddick, if the Broncos need a key player, that they want to, let's say they turn it around going forward, they can get the money. They can find a way to shift the money around, even with the huge hit with Russell Wilson. And I feel it. I said it since he left. He was pushed out of Denver, that it would have been a whole lot better. Better the devil you do than the devil you don't.
It was Jermaine Johnson that got hurt. FYI. Jermaine
Johnson. Thank you, Jay. Yeah. So, but this is the boat that we're on. And we've been preaching it since the beginning of this postgame show. And we're probably going to have this exact same freaking conversation going forward, with coming down and talking about everything that Bo Nix did right and everything that Bo Nix did wrong. And unfortunately, the things that Bo Nix did wrong might be a little bit longer than the things that Bo Nix did right.
And I disagree. I disagree, though. I don't feel like
hold up. Rob says we would be saying the same thing if Russ was out there and he had the exact same performance. The only difference in that, and I think this is what you're about to say, John, is that at least now that's what we're talking about, of the floor of this player and not a wily vet that should know better, right?
Yes. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. I can go, I'm just go ahead and leave the show now because I've got nothing left to say after you did that. But
a very expensive vet at that.
Look at Bo, all right? 20 for 35 for 246 yards, 2 interceptions. Although one of those, it's a Hail Mary pass, and it's all you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, and it was very short, by the way. They had no chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy we've known that the guy doesn't have a full field cannon. Okay, like that's not. Yeah.
Well,
nobody should be surprised by that. What?
So hold the phone. D-Rock throws in here a little tinfoil hat, but I'm gonna jump off this of what you just said, of that the wide receiver corp doesn't like Nix and they're not helping him out. This is where I do put blame on play calling, because yet another week, we do not see Troy Franklin. We only see Marvin Mims get 2 targets, 1 reception, absolutely 0 creativity to any sort of speedster that can open up some crossing lanes for some of these wide receivers. The Reynolds play, that's great. We got the fancy trickery, and it worked. It really shouldn't.
Hey, that had
like 3 people on him. It's not
that
like that
Wildcat.
Was like wide open.
Yes, but there was a man over, and that made him open. That's why it worked.
Correct, but to say that Bo Nix, it's the judgment's still out on if he has a cannon or not, or his arm strength, or what he can and cannot do. We are not giving him the weapons to be able to execute that type of offense over the top. I don't know why, because we have some players that can do it. I mean, Troy Franklin did it all year last year. That was the only reason why we drafted him. That's the only skill set he has, is take the top off the defense. Just run it out. I don't care if you don't even get a target. It's just the threat of it.
Give the man a deep post route and send him.
It's the threat of it. It is, give him one shot and overthrow him, and at least make the defense think about it. Like,
I will say the biggest pain in the ass for me out of this entire game was when Sean Payton decided to go for it on 4th and 6, and the entire game, Bo Nix goes for the check down. Now, there should have been a time or a call where he should have said, hey, you need to throw past the sticks. I would much rather him go for an incompletion or the ball get turned over instead of just turning the ball when he wasn't on that play, wasn't anywhere near the sticks, completely covered. So when you're going to gamble, you have to make it worth the gamble, Johnny. You cannot play.
I get that.
Because it's not going to fucking work.
I agree. But again, we are talking about a rookie.
Mm-hmm. I blame that on Sean Payton.
Figure this out. Yeah, absolutely. We're still talking about a rookie who has to learn to see this field the way that an NFL quarterback needs to see it. Mm-hmm. That, the jump from college to NFL it's not a little gap, man. It's the Grand Canyon. Okay, you're not jumping from. You're not jumping over the ditch on mine and Jay's grandpa's farm. Okay, like you're jumping over the Grand Canyon when you go from from college to the NFL, and right now he's still learning how to see the field that way, and he hasn't seen it yet, and he will. Yeah. He hasn't seen it yet. I want to bring this one up for you, Jay. Mundungus brings this in as we have a lot of insiders of our own on the team, but this is some information that nobody that I talked to has given me, and he gave it to whoever it was gave it to Mundungus. I want to bring this up. Marvin Mims is struggling in the classroom with basic route running and defensive recognition, and the coaching staff does not trust him. That's from a Broncos insider, and I know that they exist because I've talked. I know I'm pretty sure I know exactly who Mike got that from, because I've talked to this person as well, and not about this particular bit of nugget of info, but that's why we're not seeing much of Marvin Mims. And I can see it, actually, now that he says that. I'm not seeing any real route running from Marvin Mims.
Mm-hmm.
See, but that's the thing, is in players that have that kind of skill set, it's a vertical threat. You don't need... See, I think of route running more importance in an inside, if you're playing slot, if you are... the actual number one wide receiver, that you have such a target share that you have to get open and you have to make it happen. But if you're just a Xavier Worthy for Kansas City, who was brought onto their team to literally just fire out of a cannon, straight line shot, run as fast as you can, what head games does he need to have to do that? Same thing with an end around jet sweep. What masterful head game does he need to know to be able to run fast? That's his skill set. I get that for other wide receivers, but that's not why he's on the team. Same with Troy Franklin.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Troy Franklin on the field today? I could have sworn I heard the announcers call him.
He was
just
several
wasn't
times.
targeted. He wasn't targeted. So the progression is being made slowly. It's probably not being made at the rate we like.
Well, on top of that, Mundungus tosses us another little nugget of insider information from that Troy Franklin is the same way, struggling with basic route running and defensive recognition. However, he's progressing. Sean Payton just doesn't think he's quite ready yet. So, yeah. And here, this is absolutely true.
That's a very good point, Mundungus, on that. You're 100% right on that.
Yes, sir.
If these players were to, Don, I never, I love you, brother. I do with all my heart. You're twice my height and have a giant heart, and I love you with all of my alcohol-ridden, destroyed heart. But I will say this: all the comparisons you make to Madden, bro, Madden ain't nothing to. You can't. Madden is Madden. But the truth is, Bo Nix, what Mundungus says here is totally true about Bo. If his receivers were to run the routes to a Madden precision as far as the way they're drawn on the paper, he'd hit him every time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who he is.
Richie is totally right too, and this is why you never saw those kind of wide receivers in a Peyton Manning offense, because Peyton Manning's offense was to the inch. This is where I need your route to be, and he would never allow a player such as that to even sniff the field. So I mean that makes total sense, especially with what Bo Nix is. It's just frustrating because the one thing that we need, I feel like we have in our cabinet that we just refuse to try. And there are reasons why we're not trying, obviously, and it makes sense, but it's just frustrating because the skill set's right there. We just put it on the field and just try it.
Can I, before we move on, because I know we need to give game balls and stuff.
Yeah.
D-Rock asked this question, and I'd like to proffer an answer to it. If we were unprepared in the wide receiver room, why did we get rid of Timmy P? There's a singular. Now, I'm going to give my answer.
I know why.
For this.
Who, by the way, had his first catch as a Lion today.
Yeah, good for him.
Brutal.
Well done. Yeah, it is brutal. But he didn't drop that pass anyway.
No.
So I think what it has, I think the reason the only reason Tim Patrick is no longer a Bronco is because he's old guard. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Sean Payton is rebuilding. I said it earlier. This is a rebuild. Sean Payton is recreating this team from the ground up. And that means that anybody who was here when they were another regime, when there was other leadership who did things a different way, has no room in his system. Now, granted, he couldn't get rid of he couldn't get rid of everybody because that would leave this team literally decimated.
It pretty much
But
is.
but the point is, like, he couldn't just get rid of every single person that was here before.
Yeah.
You see that people like Garrett Bowles are still and who, by the way, had way too many penalties.
He won't be
today.
on this team next year.
No, he will not. No, he won't. And that, it sucks, but it is what it is. But that's why guys like Garrett Bowles and Cortland Sutton are still on this team. But guess what? You see guys like Tim Patrick and Justin Simmons, guys who held leadership and leadership roles and what's the word I'm looking for? Influence over locker room. In previous regimes that that were led by other people that did things differently, you're seeing them go bye-bye because Sean Payton does not want there to be anybody who can question how he's doing it. He does not want there to be anybody who has other ideas about how it should be done. It's not, Jay said it, he's arrogant, but that's not just about arrogance. It's about building a team that follows your every command.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's stripping it to the studs.
That's why Tim Patrick's gone. That's the only reason. Now, Mundungus brings up a great point. We had it with Timmy P, potentially with Vele. Sucks he was out. Devon Vele was looking great. He's hurt. He'll be back. It's not nowhere near season ending. He'll be back. But it's true. That's why Tim Patrick's gone. He is old guard. That's
Agreed.
it.
It's sad, but that's what it is. We just talked about how we don't want Band-Aids anymore. We want to turn the corner. We want a new culture in this organization. That's how you do it. You get rid of people that you love. Justin Simmons had nothing to do with money, had nothing to do with ability. It's exactly what you said, John. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I like this question by Rob. Jay, you want to field that one?
Yeah. Let's see here. Do you think PJ Locke is going to receive some sort of discipline about his attitude on the field, about that bullshit call? No, because I feel like that is PJ Locke's MO. PJ Locke is a fly around with his head down, K-Jack kind of player. That's exactly what his asset is to the team. So he'll get a quiet pat on the butt for that. He's not going to get reprimanded whatsoever.
Yeah, he's not going to get reprimanded.
Here's the thing. I watched that back, and I even rewound it. Like, had to wait for commercial to catch up to the game because I did it. The commentators were absolutely right. That play, he was at full speed going for the ball. Mm-hmm. And when the play broke down, there was nowhere for him to go. And I'm sorry, I get they're wanting these guys to stop going, putting their heads down. But think about yourself. Like, think about if it was you or me right now. I trip and I fall. Like, let's say we're just like on the street or something, and I trip and I fall going towards a wall or towards somebody else on the street. What is my literal instinct? To put my head down as I fall. So, it is literally an instinctive thing that they're asking these guys to stop doing. Mm-hmm. It's basic instinct. And I'm not talking about the Sharon Stone movie. Wrong
crowd, Johnny. Wrong crowd.
Yeah. Woo, hey, whatever.
Number 2.
Hey, just because she's old enough to be someone's grandma now does not make that movie any less relevant. All right. The point is, it is basic instinct to put your head down when you're falling into that kind of a situation and falling in that kind of a situation. And that's what he was doing. He was not in any way. He wasn't in any way trying to make a play on the player. He was just trying not to trip, fall, and fly 15 yards into the sideline and break his neck.
Yeah, the refs kind of wanted him to kind of like, do like a cartwheel or a flip over. Like it
Yeah,
was
okay.
it was a bullshit call.
I'd love to see them do it.
And Sean Payne even
Sharon Stone.
And Sean Payne went over to him because I don't know if you guys saw, but during the I don't know if it was a replay or commercial or whatever, PJ Locke actually threw his helmet, and he'll probably be fine for that, and he actually could have also been penalized for that. So that's why Sean Payne went over and said,
"Oh, he'll probably get a fine. It'll be like $1,700 or something like that. It's a drop in the bucket. It's worth nothing to him."
Yeah, so that's why Sean Payne went over to him and said, "Hey, man,
Now, granted, I say that as being my entire paycheck, but still, for someone making the money that he's making right now, that's nothing."
But I like to think that not only was PJ Locke really upset with how the offense or how the defense was playing, but it was just that he probably was so frustrated, just like the rest of the defensive guys, that were feeling like, hey man, we're busting our ass out there, and when we're fucking losing, so it sucks. So part of that frustration I think came from there as well, and we're going to see a lot of that frustration. And if Sean Payton doesn't do something about it, he could have a problem on his hand where the locker room is once again split, just like it was 2 years ago with Nathaniel Hackett.
Are you serious right now, bro?
With that, boys, should we do some balls?
Yeah, because I got to get out of here.
Nobody left their balls on the field today, so I don't know if anybody deserves to get a ball, but we need to do it.
Might be a short one, folks.
Yeah, small balls. All right, so we got some game balls to go around. Not many because
2 each. Are we still doing 2 each?
2 each.
Sure, we can do 2 each.
Positionless. You go whatever side of the ball, wherever you want to go with it.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Let me just say that the footballs in that transition that Johnny made probably went farther than anything that the Broncos offense did for most of the game today, except for one play. That's why I was cracking up. I don't know why that shit came to me. I'm weird like that. Leave me alone. But I guess my first one is going to go to a guy we talked about earlier, Zach Allen. And the thing that scares me so much about Zach Allen is if the Broncos don't ship up and they begin to have a fire sale, guys like Zach Allen could be on the trading block if Sean Payton is really, wants to stack picks. And if he stacks picks,
I see that, but I really think that's a guy that Sean Payton. He was brought in by Sean Payton.
Yeah, I know.
And that's a guy that he's going to want to build around.
And I hope I'm wrong. I really am. But at the same time, every time we think we know where the Broncos go in one direction, they just go in a whole freaking other one. So I hope I'm wrong. But the whole point of having a fire sale is you.
I'm just kidding. You're wrong. I'm just kidding.
I hope I am. I hope I am. So, but again, when you have a fire sale, you got to get rid of your best guys to stack up picks in order to really rebuild the team, as you say. But I hope Zach Allen stays in Denver. I hope he retires. But just the fact that he's busting his ass out there, getting out there and trying to get to the quarterback. I know he did not make it a pleasant day for Justin Fields in the offense.
Not at all.
That's a good one.
All right. Can I go next? Jay?
Yeah, go for it.
Permission? All right. Real quick. Comments. Christopher Earl Ashley, he gives a game ball to Riley Moss. I honestly disagree with this one because I feel like Riley Moss was good in coverage at times, but he's still struggling with turning his head to look for the ball, 1. And 2, he is really struggling with his tackling.
Yeah.
In a big way. Dude's got to really start wrapping people up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You already pulled up that one of Mundungus, Luke Wattenberg, for snapping the ball. D-Rock says all balls are on defense. I disagree, but we'll get there. So Mundungus, the water boy was on point today.
The training staff.
Yeah, H2O. So might be a little bit of a surprise. But I said this in the comment stream. I didn't say it in our group chat, and I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to keep up with our group chat and with the neighborhood today. On the neighborhood today, I put in there is it's sad that our special teams unit is the cream of the crop for this team this season. Because let's be honest, our special teams guys are killing it.
Mhm.
I'm giving one to someone who never gets recognized the way he should. Our punter, Riley freaking Dixon. Two games in, he has pinned the offense within a yard of the end zone 4 times? 4 times in 2 games. He has pinned an opposing offense at the 1 yard line. Now, granted, that a lot of that has to do with our guys getting there and downing the ball at the 1. However, if Riley Dixon does not place the ball in the right place, punt it with the in the correct way so that it bounces right so they can down it there, it doesn't happen. The guy lands a ball on a dime. I'm giving it to Riley Dixon. Well done, sir. Well done.
Very well done.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Jay?
So I'm going with Tyler Beatty. And the reason I'm going with Tyler Beatty is because Javonte Williams had 11 carries and averaged 1.5 yards a carry.
Wow.
Jaleel McLaughlin had 3 carries, and he averaged 2 yards a carry.
Ugh.
Tyler Beatty.
Oh, God.
Play. 1 rush for Tyler Beatty rips off a 16-yarder, and yet we don't give him the ball again.
Step back, I think I'm gonna vomit!
Unbelievable. But the guy came, one rush for 16 yards. He obviously had some pop to him. He was about the only one in that running back room that had any sort of pop. So
where the hell was Audric Estime this game?
He's on IR.
He's on IR, dude.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why Beatty's in or was in.
At least 4 games, but it's probably going to be longer than 4 games from what I saw.
Well, that sucks. I can't believe I didn't see that.
So I want if we're not going to elevate Blake Watson and we're going with Tyler Beatty, then I want Tyler Beatty to get some actual run, not just a one shot, because he got 16 yards and it was a great play. And it wasn't even just 16 of the number. It was that he saw some jump on that play. So giving him a game ball because, my God, we need some sort of highlight from our offense. So give him the damn ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Adon, numero dos.
Numero dos is, for me, on the offense, goes to Quinn Miners. That man on that Beatty run was unfreaking believable. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had 2-man pressure, and he was pushing them back. So, and out of the tackles really struggled today. I hope McGlinchey's okay. I know he went out with an injury towards the end of the game. Garrett Bowles, I want to yell at him, but at the same time, it's TJ Watt. TJ Watt is one of the best pass rushers in the game. So,
TJ Watt though was rushing off the other side though.
Yeah, but the Steelers have a really good pass rush, even when it's not TJ Watt.
I know, but I'm saying like he's coming off the strong side, and Bowles is on the weak side. So
yeah, but
Bowles can't be held accountable for TJ Watt.
Yeah, well, even so, he did have his name.
Can be held.
Yeah, he did have his name.
You're fun the guy.
He did have his name called, and if I'm not mistaken, somebody in our group chat already wants him gone. So I think that's a little bit drastic per se, but at least Garrett Bowles didn't have as much of a bad day as some of us anticipated. Not in the fact where I would say he needs to be released.
Fair enough. Okay, can I go again, Jay?
Go ahead.
All right. This one is me going back on something sort of that I said on the pregame. He's really good at it. All right. This is me going back on something I said pregame. We were asked in the chat during pregame who was going to be the number 1 receiver in this game. You know, most yards, blah, 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 blah. I initially said one player's name. And everybody was like, oh, no, blah. So I was like, you know what? I change it, and I went Greg Dulcich, who had a lot of drops. Disgusting drops. And if he hadn't had those drops, could have been exactly what I said. If he had caught the ball, 3, 4 drops he had. Was it 3 or 4?
3.
Yeah. The 3 drops he had, if he had caught those, I believe my prediction would have come to fruition of him being the number 1 receiver on our team today.
By far.
However, the guy that I initially said and then went back on was the guy. And that was Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, to get called up from the practice squad, Broncos Country is talking all kinds of shit on Lil Jordan Humphrey going into this game, just like, oh, really? He's the one we're calling up, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see this guy getting, targets over this guy. And guess what? Lil Jordan Humphrey was him today.
Exactly.
I mean, several targets that were that were well placed, but that he caught. And on one of those, he executed an incredible reverse back to the center of the field to get really the only yak we saw from any Bronco receiver of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I give mine to the guy who I snubbed by changing his name to someone else's in the pregame. So well done, Lil Jordan.
I think Sean Payton's boy above all. Anyone on the roster, like, that's Sean Payton's boy. Super high floor for him. He always shows up. He never does dumb things. That's a great ball. That's a great. He deserves that.
Yeah.
Jay, the last one of the day.
I'm gonna pull a U, and I never do this, but I will.
Oh God.
Somebody did say it already in the comments. Was it Christopher Early Ashley?
Well, that's 6 points of the game.
We could have gotten goose egg. We could have got shut out. I would have felt a little worse than that. My feelings I needed to buck would have been a lot more severe if we had a goose egg.
That would have been our first shutout at home in history.
Yeah.
No shit.
That's true. Yeah, it would have been the
561 home games in Broncos history. We have never been shut out at home.
And knock on wood, it never happens.
That's crazy. I did not know that. That's nuts. Well, then good. Even more so, Will Lutz deserves that game ball then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although, I will say this. I will say, great job, Will Lutz. You deserve this game ball. However, be careful, buddy, because you shanked that second kick quite to the right, and it could have gone wide.
Wasn't that scary?
From our
point of view, it looked like he missed.
Yeah.
Listen here, Mundungus. I will not tolerate this Damari Mathis slander in this chat.
No. You're still
4 pick sixes, and we would have won this game.
Hey,
you are still the only one all over Damari Mathis is nuts at this point, dude.
You're lucky we made it this far to this point without a Damari Mathis mention. So I consider that a great accolade.
I don't know if Blitz is still out there, but I'm waiting on my jersey. I saw you said it was FedEx pregame, so we'll see.
Yeah. Does anybody have an honorable mention? Not a game ball, but an honorable mention left.
You took one? My Lil Jordan was my honorable mention. But if I can change it, which I probably will, I want to say Josh Reynolds, because he kind of made up for the dropped pass from before with that incredible catch from that Wildcat play. So kudos to him. Good job.
Yep, I like that.
Montagas.
Oh, ouch. Oh God, you know what? I know we just returned. By the way, for those watching on MHRT Network that don't know, the three of us are actually old members of MHRT. Adon is a founding member of MHRT, and myself and our other co-hosts on the Nothing Rhymes Orange and Blue podcast, Isaiah, we took our show to MHRT not too long after MHRT was founded, and then we left a couple years ago, and now we're back. Jay had literally just joined the show as a co-host. I think you were with us for what, a month before we left MHRT?
Not a cup of coffee.
But But the fact is, we're back. All right, and so it feels so good to be back. It really does. I love it. But now that Mundungus is talking this shit about the Buffs, man, we may have to leave again.
You know what, Mundungus, for all that shade, Sam Hartman's ugly. That's right.
Oh!
I said it.
And dude, by the way, hey Jay, how well do you know? Have you been keeping track? How well is your plague spreading in Lincoln right now?
Oh, dude, I coughed on so many people. I hope, there's a breaking news epicenter of some Hong Kong flu, and it all started in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I will take full credit for that if that happens.
Let me just say, I knew.
Flu.
Let me just say, I knew Mundungus before he was the bearded blur. So that's how far back we go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And by the way, for those on MHRT, that have not really had much exposure to us yet, my beard used to be longer than Mundungus's. It used to be like down to here.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I trimmed it back for several reasons, and I'm growing it back out. But it's coming. It's coming.
I think Mundungus is letting his beard grow out because he's auditioning for that role. What's the name of it? Because Mundungus loves Harry Potter, so I think he's gonna play that role of that guy.
Oh, he wants to be Dumbledore.
Yeah,
Dumbledore.
That guy that went and told Harry Potter, like, "You're a wizard, Harry." That's
Hagrid.
He's trying to be.
Hagrid. I like it. Hey, you know what? Hey, I love Harry Potter too. My wife and I
don't
back
care for
in
it.
June, we went to Universal for the first time, and I spent 3 days living the Harry Potter life. It was amazing. I came home with my own robes and my own wand and all this shit. I don't care. It was a blast. And butterbeer may be one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted in my life. But I mean, okay, so those are our game balls. I'm still hopeful, guys.
Me too. For some reason.
We'll see. I'm hopeful we see Vele back, because I think Mundungus said it earlier. He might be our number one wide receiver, so we might see a huge difference, honestly, in our offensive production just with Vele back in. Just insert him back in. But I just want to see another week, another adjustment from Bo Nix. And you know what? I want to see some more running back options and some RPOs, and I want to get him out in the flat running because my gosh, he's got speed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can we talk for a second? I got something you just reminded me. Can we talk for a second about the difference between just playing with the clock and the hurry up? Playing to the clock and the hurry up. Mm-hmm. Because Bo Nix, when he plays no huddle, when he plays hurry up offense, this team lights up every time.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing that? I mean, walk into the huddle, call 2 plays in the huddle, and then play hurry up. Because this team, with Bo Nix at the helm, with his ability to do that, that's how we could win. That's how we could start winning games, you guys. Think about that. You get in the huddle, you call your first play, and you call the next play. That way, when that first play is over, instead of getting in the huddle, you go right to it and get it going on the field. That would equal positive yardage for us in a lot of ways. The hurry up offense that we've seen in the last 2 weeks out of Bo Nix, when we got into hurry up situations, that's when we saw this team come to life.
Right.
Yep.
Agreed.
I think time will tell as we continue through this. This is also a brand new playbook for most people involved, or a brand new iteration of playbook. So you need to be extremely comfortable to run a fast-paced, hurry-up offense. And, I think once we get down the season, week 5, 6, 7, maybe we'll see that a little more frequent. It's hard to do that.
Just saying,
week 1, 2.
I'm hoping we see something.
Between opening up the playbook to something that was not vanilla, like the Wildcat, and then also See him, Rob. Have a good night, brother. But between like opening up the playbook to that Wildcat and then playing the hurry up, those were the highlights of the game for the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, man, if we did that more often, even when the current time that is on the clock isn't necessarily calling for it, because that is the kind of system that Bo Nix thrives in. As soon as we started playing hurry up, I literally said, this is a Bo Nix moment. This is how this is when Bo Nix is at his best.
Mm-hmm.
You can play hurry up. You can play hurry up anytime. You don't have to wait for the clock to dictate it.
True.
And that would be an excellent thing to do. That's Bo Nix's skill set. Play, what have we said? We've said it for years. Stop trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yep.
Bo Nix is best in those moments. Play to your quarterback's strengths.
We'll see the adjustments. I think they're coming. I think more of that kind of stuff's on the horizon. But
yeah,
you know,
I think we're all ready and waiting for it.
It's true.
Wow,
Only
look at
week
this.
2.
Wow, you know, people talking so much shit on Bo, but I mean, Caleb Williams is the same way. So, but the Nuggets says, so I'm sitting here watching the Bears-Texans game. Turns out, if your O-line doesn't play well, neither does your rookie QB.
Yeah, they just punted the ball
does,
back to the Texans, so I can see why.
Neither does any quarterback, rookie or not.
Yes, but it's worse for a rookie.
Rookie,
it's worse for a rookie, and you can't deny that.
True.
So,
right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna close her down here. I got my feelings. I'm sure I'm only going to get more angry as the season progresses, as if this is status quo. But I believe we will have some positivenesses coming. Things are gonna.
Is that a new word?
Better.
Did you just invent a new word? Positivenesses?
Absolutely. They're in quotes. There's a rating somewhere, an asterisk, an umlaut.
And totally redeem yourself.
So, you know, boys, it's been real. It's been fun. So appreciate y'all on this fun little trip we came down here. I got my feelings bucked. Everyone, you got your feelings bucked? You're good to go?
Oh, pretty good. You know, one last thing. I mean, of course, Jay, take us away on this.
Well, absolutely. Just please like, subscribe, share. And, you know, you've already commented, but please comment more in the future. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate the interaction. Gives us some ammo to go off of. So obviously we got ourselves on the Orange and Blue Network, but we're also on MHRT Network as well. So please do the dual, subscribe, share, and comment and like, please. And catch us Tuesday night for the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast at 8 o'clock.
8 p.m. Well, that's 8 o'clock Central. That's 8
Central
o'clock
time.
Central.
7 Rocky Mountain. With
And
that,
don't forget a Don. Don't forget a Don. Broncos talk on Wednesdays.
Broncos talk Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central time. That'd be 6 p.m. Mountain time. So please catch our shows. Please catch all of the offerings for MHRT Network as well. We love those guys over there and everything they offer. So with that, boys, adieu. Adieu.
And go Broncos.
Thank you.
Adieu and good Broncos.
Yeah, good. We'll see you later, guys. Thank you.
Later days.